Okay, so I was excited and I just wanted to pick it up and review it here on the channel. Now I'm thinking, oh boy, Wicked is another 8-bit system. Yep, but this is a NES Pocket Duo. I've reviewed the previous model in last year's video and I must say that I was surprised with this. And the reason why, not only like the colors look amazing, but it also gives like this nostalgia vibe. And the display of the previous model was not bad at all. So this thing has some awesome features. It comes including 2 freaking controllers, so you can use this thing like an NES game system. Yeah, there is only one downside already. You cannot use, let's say, original game cartridges, so what you see is what you're going to get with the games inside. But first let's unbox it, because I just want to see what inside is. Alright, I always want to try to keep the box in good condition. Alright, so let's see what we're going to get. We're going to get an extra keyring. And I'm guessing you can basically like stick it on the back of the device and give it like a way to display it. Yeah, alright. Then we're going to get ourselves the micro USB and AV out cable, of course, because it's more like a game system. Here we're going to get the system itself, and yeah, it looks amazing. I don't mind that it is not a D-pad this time. I will forgive them for this. At the bottom we're going to get a micro USB for charging, an AV out port, or an AV out and headphone jack out, and this is the AV out port up the top. And then we're going to get the on-off switch over here, volume control. For opening it up we're going to need a freaking screwdriver. That's the thing I personally really hate about these things, like because in the inside we're going to get ourselves the famous BL5C. This is like an old school Nokia battery. It's only 600 milliamp, the cheapskates. Oh boy, yeah. Normally these things are around 1000, so that's a very big thumbs down for the guys. And of course we're going to get ourselves the controllers. The controllers have basically the same layout with the non-D-pad. Not to forget the smell test. It doesn't smell chemical at all, like it smells like nothing. They have like a very lightweight touch to it. Let's see what kind of batteries we're going to find in here. You can hear like the plastic is made from very hard plastic. So those are not the best plastic because they will break very easy. Okay, going to need 2 AAA batteries. But here you can see the indication which player is what. There's no switch, so you can say like I want to use this controller for player 1 or player 2. It has an indication over here. So yeah, that's it. That's the thing that we're going to get. Strap on that we can whip people with. But the thing is like there's no toilet paper manual. So another thing I really like is that when you're trying to charge it up, you can see that here we're going to get 3 LEDs. That gives an indication how far it's charged. You barely can see it because it's next to the speaker holes. So I think that is a pretty cool way. And the speaker itself is very loud. Okay, so the next thing I really want to show you, and we're going to lower the volume for that. I said I'm going to lower the volume with that. So the display itself is not your typical very cheap display. Slightly different to film because of the freaking glossy screen. And we're going to remove the screen protector, of course. Yep, we're going to do that. But the thing is, like, I really like it. And that's the thing what I really also like about the first model, that we're going to get a very nice display. And you don't see that very often, especially with the cheap handhelds from AliExpress with some 8-bit footage. But let's take a closer look at the menu sound. Because with the previous model, that happened too. So basically they didn't fix it. They add some new features like the controllers, but they left the audio. I will show you, like when you reset it, it starts with an awesome song. No idea where it's from. Oh yeah. But alright. So the list itself, it's a very nice mix. There are only like around 200 games on it. But I was really surprised to see what kind of games are on it. It's a very good list. So you see, like, bigger lists are not always better, especially when it comes to the cheap China handhelds. But still, it's a mix. They would, like, say, They could like add in a list for it, like alphabetic order. Another thing that we're going to try out for the audio is just to see. Holy crap, the audio goes very loud. All the audio effects are here. And what I really like about the display itself, you can see all the details of the character. And with the cheap ones you don't get it, like most of them they're like the purple, the guys are all purple, stuff like that. But it's not really a good D-pad compared with other ones I've seen, but it still makes the games playable. So yeah, when it comes to the gameplay and the audio, it's not bad at all. A very nice display. So that makes me personally very excited. Yeah. Spankman is here. The only thing I really hate is that I need to get used to the control, but it's more like a personal problem. But we're going to get the turbo function, and also that works very well. Ow. Ow. But there's another issue. You can hear like sometimes the audio goes like crazy. Getting that annoying zooming sound. So okay, let's see if we can play the game with this freaking D-pad. Shit. I'm not a big fan of the D-pad. I will forgive them because it's not super bad, but especially with games like these, you just need to have a good D-pad. Okay, so in the next part, let's try the game console part. And again, when you're playing this on a CRT, that looks amazing. Of course you can use an LCD display, but yeah, it's still AV out. And it will look like shit on that. Okay, so when it comes to the controllers, this is just basically plug and play. You need to add your batteries and that's it. Like, plug in your AV out and you can play some old school games. They are working on 2.4 GHz, so you don't have any issues when it comes to having like problems with connectivity. And of course, like for long term, if you want to play from some distance, it's no problem at all. So I think it's a really cool extra feature that they made with the new version. Alright, so let's do a quick teardown and just do a quick peek in the inside. So it's like basic technology, but I'm always super curious, like how does this thing will look in the inside? Because these things are super easy to tear down, but also like super easy to break. Alright, so let's do a very, very careful tear down, because I don't want to ruin this system. But see, this is the only thing that we're going to get in the inside, like one big gigantic PCB. And what I do like about this thing that we have the option to play with normal batteries and with a lithium battery. That is something you don't see very often nowadays. Okay, so this screw over here, and the other one over there keeps it in position. Need to put them over here, and then we're not going to like mix them up, otherwise I'm going to have an issue putting it back together. Oh crap, I have a brain fart. There's another one here. Good evening. I basically have 4 screws keeping it in place. Come on. Okay, so let's take a close look what kind of parts they're using. So the speakers over here and have been soldered straight into the main board. They're still using the cheap rubber membranes over here for the buttons. Okay, so let's flip the display, because here you can see like all of, or most of these things, like it's a NES on the chip. The black blob over here, even more black blobs. But it's quite interesting that we're having like these foam spacers that keep the display in the perfect condition. Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the only thing that you're going to get with these cheap devices. Cheap. So if you go back in time and you would give this device to yourself, it would be like freaking mind-blowing. But nowadays, it's just okay. So it's still flawed, don't get me wrong. There are some issues with this thing, like the sound issues here and there. But the display, it's not like an IPS, it's better. It's more like it's white screen LCD, they love to call it in China. But then overall, like, it's still one of my favorite 8-bit systems, and now with the new edition we can basically use this thing like a game system and yeah, actually play with this 2.4 GHz controllers, and they work very well. It's a pretty damn cool device. It got very nice built-in games, of course a lot of homebrew stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments what do you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.